Here's 3 feels to take you from hands behind at impact, hitting weak shots, to stronger, more penetrating iron shots.
Now, I really don't want you to be fooled with what you've seen on the internet or in lessons before. I think what I'm going to show you today is really going to blow your mind a bit. So what's actually happening to result in those weak iron shots? And you probably didn't realise it's why you're fatting and thinning the golf ball too. Now, this is honestly the simplest way to think about it. Let's imagine from the top of your downswing at that transition point, there's a race going on between your hands and the club head. When your club head wins the race between it and the hands, you actually result in showing a lot more loft to the golf ball. So really simple. Let's imagine I have a 7-iron in my hand right now. I'm actually then turning that 7-iron into a 9-iron. That's not what we want. What we want to happen is the hands winning the race, that split second before impact. That's then when we turn our 7-iron into a 7.5, possibly even 6-iron, and why the golf ball goes longer. And I know just one of these 3 ways I'm going to show you right now will help you hit the golf ball longer. So nice and simple. The concepts you've got to think about here is that race. If the club head wins the race, we're adding loft to the golf ball, more likely to be hitting up, meaning ground first contact, weaker shots, fats and thins. Whereas if our hands win that race and we allow our body to give and facilitate that motion, then we actually start to hit down on the golf ball, which is, I know, what you're wanting to achieve on this video.
The first one is to get the trail elbow in front of the rib cage without the lead shoulder going too high. Don't slide and get it too high. This is key.
Now, you're probably thinking, why would I slide? Why would I get the lead shoulder far too high? Well, for me, there's 2 reasons. Number 1, I think we're so bothered about hitting driver on the up, it actually creeps into our iron swing. And think logically, we spend so much time probably watching driver videos or actually working on our driver swing, we don't realise this is consciously or unconsciously having effect on our iron swing. The other reason, and this is really, really big, and I know it's one of those moments in the video where you're like, I didn't even realise that was happening, is the simple reason that so many golfers are trying to shallow the club. And this is one of the ways that the shaft could potentially look shallower. And the reason why I use the word potential is it's like a fake shallow of the golf club. You just leaning back, yes, makes the shaft look like it's shallower more from the inside, but this is the big but right here. This is why you're losing the race between the club head on your hands, hitting those fat, high, weak, and thin iron shots. Now, I know that's key. You didn't realize that, and I don't blame you because you're so bothered about hitting from the inside. But let's not hit from the inside in the wrong way. Let's start striking these irons in the right way.
So it should look and feel something a little bit like this. That's the first sensation. Sensation number 2, this is all about the wrists. What I said is we need more of this at impact with the trail wrist. That will also get your lead wrist to be more in this area, more flexion. You must know this detail on the wrists. Simple. Get your ball position for the club that you did have in your hand originally. Arms hanging down in front. What you're looking to do is this. We want more extension of the trail, more flexion of the lead, and this would be the sensation from, let's say, hip height to hip height, just this here. But then you have to learn to re-hinge on the way through. So the technical term, move back into radial motion or radial deviation. So this way, as opposed to round the corner like this. Watch my thumbs. Here, up, here, up, here, up, not round the corner like this. Now this is not only the key bit to this. The sensation, feel flexion, feel extension, and let them move back up and re-hinge on the way through.
So I'd like just to take a step back here to improve your knowledge, because I know this is going to give you real substance and allow you to improve in this video. Nice and simple, we really want to be in a scenario you can see here, where we've got flexion of the lead wrist, and we've got extension of the trail wrist. And simply, if you can achieve this scenario, That's how your hands win the race. And I told you I was going to get you to do that in this video. Now, let's just break this down in a 2D model. You can see right here, this is flexion of our lead wrist. This then is extension of our lead wrist. So using these terms, the scenario I want you to get really good at understanding is that when we have flexion of our lead wrist, as you can see here, we've then got extension of our trail. And this, no question, is the only way you're going to get your hands ahead of the golf ball impact. If you flip this scenario on its head, this is when the hands start to lose the race. And again, I come back to this. You're hitting weak iron shots.
So to summarise feel 2, no golf club. Work it into impact, rehinge through, not flip and roll. The final one is absolutely my favourite. All golfers say to me, it feels as though there is more drag of this handle. Almost like you're pulling the grip off.
Now this drag drill, it looks super aggressive, but I've had great success using it because your hands actually get excessively ahead of the golf ball. Now, it's a really important point to think about here. We want to feel as though the hands are dragging the golf club a little more. But as we're dragging this golf club, we want to start to work to release this wrist. So let me look at a really simple way of explaining this. Let's imagine you had 3 knuckles showing on your glove hand at the top of the backswing in that transition just before you start the downswing. As you get to last parallel on the way down, you then could see 2 knuckles. Then as you get into impact, you can see 1 knuckle. As you go into follow through, you can see no knuckles. What I'm trying to say here, as you're dragging that handle down and getting that feeling, we're still releasing that club. We're turning that logo of the golf glove down to the ground. And as we've learned in this video, that's working our lead wrist into more flexion. And as I keep reiterating this, and I want to hammer this home because I know you're going to learn this way, that's how the hands win the race. So if you're liking this last feel of feeling more drag of that handle with the lead hand, don't forget to add a little bit of flexion in there. That's just getting to square the face with the hands ahead.
Now to get that sensation, super easy, split grip, move it to the top, start down. And when your hands get here, look, here, even look at my elbow, practice that dragging of that handle to really get that sensation through the ball. Look at this feeling of lag and drag as opposed to throw and flip. Just look at the difference in that. And finally, piece it all together, find the feel that works for you hitting shots on the golf course. We should be looking a little more here at impact as opposed to like this through the ball.
Thanks for watching today's simple video on 3 ways to improve your release. I know it works because it's the home of simple golf tips.